Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Star Wars Minute. It's your daily podcast in which we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate The Last Jedi one hot minute at a time. I'm Alex Robinson from alexrobinson.fun.
I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
And I am Tony Thaxton. I'm going to change it up and tell you that I play drums in a band called Motion City Soundtrack.
What?
It's true. All of it.
Thank you for returning to the show, Tony, taking time out of your busy touring schedule to appear on our little podcast here.
Yes, this busy touring that I've been doing in 2021 just can't keep me home.
When do you have a tour coming up that doesn't start until next year?
Yes,
that late this year
will be. Literally starts right at the beginning of next year. Tickets are now on sale. MotionCitySoundtrack.com.
There you go.
You don't have to buy that; it already exists.
Can I buy it?
You can.
We'll see.
Well, we can negotiate. Sure.
All right.
Maybe just change a couple of the words.
Yeah, I'm gonna spell it weird. MOSHUN.
SITTY.
Motion City original cast recording.
Oh, there you go. Motion City score.
Well, let's talk about minute 83, shall we, of The Last Jedi. Minute 83 starts with the magic tree bursting into flames with cracks Yoda up. And it ends a minute later with Yoda saying that library doesn't contain anything that the girl Rey doesn't already possess. The girl Rey. So we previewed it yesterday. Yoda giggling and stomping his feet in amusement.
None of the listeners slept. They could not wait to hear us talk about this.
Yeah. Giddy Yoda returns. Giddy Yoda. Giddy Yoda.
I mixed feelings.
Yeah, I kind of do too.
Oh, I love it.
Generally I like it because it's a return to the crazy, silly Yoda we saw in Empire, silly Yoda, as opposed to the leader of the world that we saw in the prequels.
Yeah.
Right.
Obviously, it's the more fun version, but I always have taken that as like that was him sort of doing a bit basically, fooling Luke, and then so to kind of see him return to. I mean, I guess he is kind of messing with him though, so I guess it does sort of fit, but. I don't know. It felt a little off, but not enough to like really bother me.
Well, let me ask you this: what do you think he is laughing at? Is he laughing at Luke's reaction to the light?
Thought of from earlier.
he thought of Roxanakin.
Yeah.
But is he laughing at Luke's like dumbfounded reaction? Is he laughing that he blew it up when Luke was having second thoughts? Was it that he was laughing because he didn't think the Force lightning thing would work? Yeah,
is that when he started? I was trying to remember. It's when the lightning hits and it catches. That's when he starts laughing.
Yeah, Luke walks up to it like he's gonna light it, and then he pulls a wedge and just can't do it. He walks away shamefacedly, and that's when Yoda blows it up.
Yeah.
Making Luke feel extra like Wedge because now here this other guy came and just did it right in front of him.
Yeah.
This is not the time or place for this. We're in the middle of talking about Yoda, but I did, having seen, as Tony did, having seen Return of the Jedi on the big screen recently, actually having seen both Star Wars and Return of the Jedi, I developed a reappreciation for Wedge. I think we've been giving him a hard time. I think he's terrific.
Okay.
So we'll get to that. 2 years from now, I'm going to have an opportunity to talk about Wedge again. So we'll table that.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, for this, I do. I think he is laughing at essentially Luke's reaction and how, it's a little bit pretentious on Yoda's part that he's like, because he's just like done with the physical world, and so it was like, oh, look at you peasants with your, holding on to things.
Yeah.
But also, as we will find out, he is telling a bit of a joke when it comes up, because when he says, oh, there's nothing in that tree that Rey doesn't already possess, and it's because she took the books out and put them in the Falcon. So he's just like, yeah. So it's like he's like pulling. He's like, oh, I finally got one of those Kenobis. Ready? Check it out. Like,
Who do you think taught? Who do you think invented Kenobi?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go along with that. And I didn't occur to me until watching it for this minute when he says she does not have anything. There's nothing, like basically implying she had the books. This is the first time I was like, oh, that's it. Because I always thought the books seemed like come out of nowhere at the end. Like, oh, and what do you know? She just happened to take them. But they do foreshadow it here.
Also, on that note, and maybe I'm dumb, and maybe you guys are gonna have a perfectly
The two things might not be connected. So.
Yeah.
Right. It was in my notes that you're dumb.
It's in all the listeners' notes too. So why is Luke so upset if he was going to burn it down anyways?
Because he wasn't really. He had the thought to, but he's never really going to do it.
He's probably done that 1,000 times.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like every weekend he probably walks up to it with the torch like he's going to finally do it, and then he's just like, no.
All right. Asked and answered.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's why he's like every time he's just about to do it, it's almost like I don't know, things that aren't important to you that are lying around your room when you're a kid, maybe. That then once, your parents go and they clean your room and they're going to throw something out, and you're like, no, that's mine. Like that.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing where it's just like, if you were to clean your room, you might have very well thrown that out, but it becomes a, that's mine.
All right.
I do like the way that Mark Hamill goes, the sacred Jedi text.
Yeah.
It sounds like so many nerds who have had their Magic the Gathering and crashed on the floor or something.
Yeah. Mom, they're action figures. Well, that leads me to that leads me to my stick. It's better than bacon, right? This. You guys know that, right?
The bad lip reading, the bad lip reading channel.
Right. Bad lip reading of
well, you know the Seagulls one, right?
Yes.
It's the same guys did another song where Yoda's singing about how great his stick is.
I don't remember that one.
You can't touch my stick. And then the Yoda Luke saying like the sacred Jedi text. It's like he's like, but it's just a stick. So a lot of this, much like the meme stuff from Revenge of the Sith, and to a lesser extent Attack of the Clone, is kind of enhancing the enjoyment of this. I do get a tiny bit distracted in the back of my head that this song starts to pop up there.
Yeah, I definitely have that if I watch Empire now. Like I notice every little movement Yoda does in that, and I imagine the Seagulls song.
Right.
Yeah.
Stop it.
That's like the catchiest song ever written. It's crazy catchy.
I don't disagree, but I get my stick song in my head. I can't right now think of the Seagulls song, but I get my stick is better than bacon. It's not stuck in my head, so
we won't sing it.
Yeah,
we won't sing the Seagull song.
Yes, I'm impressed. I'm like questioning now if I've seen the other one. I had to have, but it's not.
It was not as well known.
Yeah,
I don't think.
Pete prefers those deep cuts.
Yeah, I'm more of a B-sides bad lip reading.
My stick is the Boshek of the
yeah.
That's probably what they were thinking as they made it too.
It's better than Boshek. That my daughter made a friend. Essentially, not made a friend. She was already friends with a kid in her class, but then like a new link was forged because
a new hope.
One time her friend's dad heard my daughter singing my stick song and was like, oh, all right, I guess she's cool. And then like kind of encouraged his daughter to hang out with my daughter more, and they're best friends. And so it was like a bridge.
Do you think this is his way of becoming friends with you? Like he's like, if Because if she's singing that, her dad must be pretty cool.
You would think so, but then I don't know. I just don't. I don't feel it reciprocated there. I'll just let them be friends and whatever. Whatever. I remember, there's a lot of people that my parents were friends with that then I was encouraged to be friends with their kids, and it's just like, look, we don't have anything in common. You guys talk.
Yeah.
Like,
that seems like it would be probably one of the 3 worst things about being a parent is having to make awkward small talk with parents you don't like, but because your kids are friends with each other.
Right.
It's got to be one of the worst things a parent has to go through.
Yeah. That's it.
Hey, speaking of terrible things, here's a controversial line. Yoda says, "You have read the sacred Jedi texts, or read them. You have page-turners. They are not." And I remember the phrase "page-turners" creating quite a stir when this movie first came out, because it's one of those phrases that just some people were saying was too earthy.
I'm assuming
like
I thought he
foul
was
language.
talking about Rose's half sister, Pageturner.
Star Wars. I don't. I get what you're saying, but that one didn't really bother me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'll take that over droid please and things like that. Yeah, because there's definitely been some of those in the new movies, but that one didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither. I think it's within kind of Yoda. I don't know.
Crawled up the bestseller list, it did.
Flying off the shelves, they are.
Signed copies they are. Have you guys had the thought or notice, and I don't know if this is intentional or maybe I'm looking too much into this, the tree itself kind of looks like the Rebel Alliance symbol.
I think that is intentional.
All right. Moving on.
Asked and answered. I can't picture it not looking like a tree. But I will look at it again.
It looks like the tree is disguised as the Rebel Alliance symbol.
Let me
for
look through my
Halloween.
visual dictionary and see what's going on.
Okay. Right.
It's not perfect, but it's like, there's a resemblance.
All right. I'll buy it.
I didn't know if anyone else had
'Cause if
that
they're-
thought.
Rebellion was do we have an origin? Has there ever been an origin story of the little rebel symbol?
Oh,
We know that-
rebellions are built on hope.
Right. But that means hope.
I don't know.
I know that there's that was just one of several symbols that they were using for a bit, right? And then once Luke blew up the Death Star, it became like the main thing. It became like a Luke symbol, which then became kind of mainstream rebellion symbol, right?
But I think
more on his.
I think the old Republic logo also looks like that kind of thing.
Oh yeah,
So-
I do love the idea of like if Biggs had blown up the Death Star, everybody running around with like checkerboards.
When is the first time we see the symbol in a movie?
Was on Luke's helmet, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming that's once we get to the Yavin 4.
Like
the
toward
Massassi
I
temple.
legitimately I could not remember if we actually see it in that or not.
Yeah,
I guess
just on the helmets.
chronologically, I'm sure Rogue One is probably the first time.
Do we see it in Rogue One? I can't think of who
I
would
feel
be
like we
wearing. I
must.
guess Rebel pilots have to be wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, in release order, I because it's on those generic pilot helmets. Those guys who are not.
Okay. I couldn't remember.
They're
It's
only
become
in
one of
the-
those things I'm just so, you're so used to seeing it, and I hadn't really thought about the fact of if you see it that early or not. Okay.
Right.
Tony, you have any Star Wars tattoos?
I have 0 tattoos in general.
Huh.
I know, unheard of
Thought
for
you were a rock
musician.
star. I know.
I know. I'm a musician, and I feel like the age group where everyone has at least one.
Yeah, totally.
But I don't know. Just never did it. Never appealed to me.
If you had to get a Star Wars tattoo that was 6 inches by 6 inches, where would you get
No
it?
more,
and
no
what-
less.
And what would you get?
Oh, I have to pick a location also.
Well, unless you want us to pick.
You got it.
You guys, okay? You guys,
Tulsa,
pick the-
Oklahoma, and
You know what I want to do?
What?
And now it's going to seem like I'm kissing some butt here. See, I'm keeping it PG for you guys. I'm wearing it right now. I love the Alex,
the twins, Snaggletooth twins parody.
It is my favorite shirt by far that you have done. It is also the most I shouldn't say commented. It's the most asked about shirt that I wear. Like every time I wear it, somebody will try to like ask what it is, and then it takes the most explaining. It's not a short answer.
Yeah, I see that.
But
I feel those are the strongest. Our shirts where it like takes like several sentences to be like, well, okay, well, because you can't just be like, well, it's from a show. You can kind of, but then to really explain what, like, you have to be like, okay, well,
there are so many layers to this one, and it's so wonderful. The second I saw this design, I was like, yep, I need that. Yeah.
I went to the doctor the other day, and she asked me what I did for a living. And I mentioned I do.
Wait, are you working out in your stand-up routine?
No, but someone asked me what I did for a living, and I mentioned that I did the podcast. They were like, "Oh, what's the podcast about?" And that's where I was like, "What do I say? Do I do like?"
I'm always.
I should have just said, "Oh, I do a movie podcast."
I don't even like saying that I work on podcasts because I feel like everyone on Earth does now.
Yeah,
and like I feel like I always have to follow it with. But I swear that's like how I make a living, though. That's like it's actually
for money.
It's really my job.
It's like saying you're an amateur DJ, like something like that, where people are just like.
You mean like somebody who can break out of prison and then get you into Snook's boudoir?
Yeah, it's a professional DJ.
Oh, right.
I said I do a Star Wars podcast. That was as far as because I was like thinking, well, what if she knows someone who's into Star Wars or something like that? But
I usually start to say like, I'm a podcaster, and then if they're interested, they'll be like, oh, what's your show? What's your show about? That kind of thing. Well, then I kind of sheepishly, not that I'm embarrassed of this show. I love this show and I love doing this show, but there's also a certain, cultural. There's still a cultural stigma towards just kind of, that you could be doing something important, instead you're wasting your time talking about Star Wars. And then there's also like even if somebody's more into this world, then there's a lot of kind of, negativity and back and forth in the Star Wars world. So there's like a lot of layers to overcome.
Yeah.
Not
wrong.
No, but I would get, you didn't say where you were would you just get that on your chest where it is now so you don't have to wear the shirt anymore?
Or you still wear the shirt and then you take it off with the exact same image underneath.
Yeah, I think we're on to something. Also, real quick, not to pitch ideas to you, but I have the world's worst idea that I've been inspired by looking at this Zoom that we're on. Pete is, in front of this certain Star Wars poster that we've all seen a million times, but the way he's sitting, he's like perfectly in the middle, blocking Luke completely. So he's like between Han and Leia, and he's too big, kind of though. Just redo that poster, but with Pete way too big instead of Luke.
There you go.
I told you it was a terrible idea.
You have an angel on one shoulder, and you have a devil on one. You have a scoundrel on one shoulder, and a princess on the other shoulder.
I still think I would get years ago. Forbidden Jeff and I, Jeff from Forbidden Planet, New York City. We were talking about it. I don't know if he remembers this, so I'm not going to hold him to it. But we thought it would be a good idea to get the thing on the backs of stormtroopers on your back, because it's subtle enough. Just get a little line design of that, that OII oil, whatever. Get that, so it's subtle enough that it could just be a weird thing, but just the outline of it. So it looks like it's just a design, but it's also a Star Wars thing, and people who get it would get it.
Yeah, it needs to be something. I like the more subtle, deep cuts that. You're not just getting Star Wars on your chest.
The crawl just going on.
Well, that would be pretty.
It would be neat. Yeah. But which one? That's the whole. You got to go with the first one, I guess. I don't know.
Totally. I would do a thing around my waist. It would be C-3PO's, that the black part where you can see all the wires, and I would just put that totally going around my waist.
I like that. That just made me want to change. That just made me want to change mine too. The Chewbacca bandolier.
Now it's almost getting to like I want to have like Han Solo's vest and Han Solo's pants and his belt and his gun
tattooed on me.
I do legitimately know a guy who has checkered Vans shoes tattooed on his feet.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I always picture feet being a painful place to get a tattoo.
Yeah, it seems terrible. But he's one of those guys that kind of has two tattoos everywhere, and he took it that far that he got Vans tattooed on his feet.
I respect and admire that, and also would not want to do that.
Is it like your shirt where now he doesn't have to wear Vans anymore because he just walks around barefoot and everyone's like,
Pretty
nice
much.
Vans, dude?
He gets so much more service now. That made me think of also Luke's, like when Luke gets shot on Jabba's sail barge and the little like thing of wires where his hand is, like on the back of your hand to get a little. That might be a good one. I don't think that's not as good as the C-3PO one. I like that one. That's more involved though. You have to. You're talking multiple sessions and hours of going around.
Yeah,
it's like a body sleeve.
Anyway,
I had a follow. Oh, I have a lot more notes for this minute that we've got off talking about tattoos and stuff.
About that.
Although should we save some of them for tomorrow? Well, here's what Yoda does, like a teleportation almost. He disappears from where he is and shows up closer to the camera,
like 4 feet.
He upstages Luke. And there's a weird weep noise. It's like almost like the old like Filmation cartoons or something. It's like he like moves
when he teleports.
There's a sound when he reappears.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I've never heard of
this also.
And is that I think he's not really teleporting. He's just stopping because I'm assuming it takes concentration to be visible. So he's stopping that, becoming invisible, and then quickly swimming or running over to where he wants to be, and then becoming more visible again.
Or it's just a projector in the bushes.
Or multiple Yodas. Now it's a conspiracy theory.
Now there are two.
There's a second Yoda in the grassy knoll.
On the projector note, sort of. I feel like it's a little hit or miss with how sometimes he looks good and sometimes he doesn't. I also feel like he's not very ghostly in a lot of shots too. Have you guys picked up on this?
Yeah, it comes and goes.
Yeah. He does look very solid, and apparently that's one of the reasons why The Last Jedi is a terrible movie, is because people were complaining that Yoda was too solid, thus their childhoods were ruined.
Yeah. That was my first comment when I walked out.
I'll excuse it because, like we said, Yoda's the second most powerful Jedi ever, so the idea that he could be the most, and as we'll see in tomorrow's minute, he can actually physically interact with Luke.
Yeah.
So I'm just attributing that to the fact that it's Yoda and he's super powerful in this Force, nexus and stuff. So it doesn't bother me. His much as him being more solid.
That'll lead into all right. I'm gonna table my other two notes.
Table for two
until tomorrow, because I'm gonna ask questions that deal with that a little bit.
Oh, okay.
And I'll replace. I already asked if this is the second best Yoda. So I'll move my notes from today into that slot where I had that. But I will say it is weird to hear Yoda say Rey.
Say Rey.
Where he's like the girl Rey, and I'm like, that's a little weird. It's it's not as weird as, of course, like it was Snoke is always going to be the weirdest to me. So on a ranking of original trilogy people saying the names of newer characters and how weird it is, it was Snoke is always going to be my number one. Then Luke saying Darth Sidious.
I was just going to say that one.
Yeah, that's a strong number two. But then I think Yoda saying
strong number two.
Yoda saying the girl Rey. That's on there.
Oh, I'm trying to think of what mine is. Anyway, something to think about for future minutes.
What about when Chewbacca says Katik Kid Kak?
That's of course that's my favorite.
Speaking of tabling things for next episode, I'll give a tease here.
Oh.
I didn't inform you guys yet. I have found my notes of my Last Jedi predictions.
Awesome.
Nice.
I did not look at them, so I can't promise this is going to be entertaining. But I
We
have
should make
found
predictions as to what his predictions will be. See how many we get. Well, we look forward to hearing that list. And you mentioned your shirt, so I want to. I would be remiss if I did not direct people to StarWarsMinute.com/merch, where you can buy. I think that shirt is still there. I don't think it's been taken down yet.
Better be. I don't actually have that shirt. I have it on a notebook.
Oh.
Here, I have it on a notebook, but I don't.
Oh,
I never
proved it.
Never. I don't think I bought it as a shirt. I need to get it. So.
All right,
So
or a
good.
tattoo.
Oh,
Think about it.
Why not?
If
both?
you want an
do,
awkward conversation starter, this is the
Rogue-
shirt.
So yes, StarWarsMinute.com/merch. You can get all our fun designs and more. And hopefully you'll join us tomorrow here on another Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.